like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open your shell so the world can see. You're a beautiful pearl. Live your day like you mean it. And don't forget who you are. You're free to go anywhere. There's no distance too far. And I just can't get enough of your energy. I just can't get enough. You're the spark shining in the dark. Oh, 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 oh. Love.
Welcome to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville. I am so excited you're here today. It Is What It is a show all about real people with real life stories. We all have a story. And on this show, real people come on and they share those stories. They talk about their adversities in life, their accomplishments in life, you know, how they've overcome things that have happened to them, and hopefully through sharing the story, they inspire all of you. Now, let's get on to mitzvah time. Mitzvah time. What is a mitzvah? You should all know. Actually, I love hearing so many of you talk about mitzvahs. And people who never knew what that word is, you know, now know. A mitzvah, if you don't know, is a good deed. So I challenge you, and I really, really want to hear those mitzvahs. So I challenge you to do a mitzvah every day. It's very easy to do something nice for somebody, to go out of your way. It could be, like I say, something as small as a smile, a thank you, a holding the door for somebody. It could be something bigger, you know, but we should all be doing amazing things for each other. Let's get this out there. Let's make this infectious, you know. Positivity. This is all about being positive and being kind to others. And, you know, let's kind of make this a little movement here. You know, it is what it is movement. So get me those good deeds, those mitzvahs that you do. I want to announce them. I don't have to announce your names if you don't want me to say your names, but send me a private message and share those mitzvahs that you do, because we all do nice things all the time. I would love to share those nice things with everybody. But I'm going to share a mitzvah that happened recently at a party at Dawn and Chris. And Chris George is a pretty famous psychic medium. He's phenomenal. And we were at a celebration, a party at their house. And Bobby, the producer, fabulous Bobby, love you, Bobby. Bobby, the producer, was going to do a little mitzvah for his mom. And his mom loves baklava. And Chris, George, and Dawn Diggity, they put like an incredible spread out, like they always do. And there was some baklava, and Bobby knew his mom loves baklava. So he says, you know, do you mind, Dawn, if I take a little piece from my mom? So Dawn did something better. Dawn says, you know what? Hold on a second, Bobby. I'm going to go run in and get something for you. She ran in. She got a whole box, a brand new box of baklava to send home with Bobby for his mom. So not only did Bobby want to do a mitzvah, but Dawn did a beautiful mitzvah as well. So thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Dawn, for those beautiful mitzvot. And thank you. I actually had such a great time there. So thank you, Chris George. Thank you, Dawn Diggity. And actually, Dawn and Chris George have a show coming up very soon, within the next week or two, here on Strong Island Television. They are now members of the Strong Island family, and I am thrilled that they have joined us. And wait till you see the show. Make sure you tune in. Now, in order to get the giveaway, which this week is my book, It Is What It Is, you need to comment, like, and share. And remember, comment, like, and share as much as you can, and you have a chance to win this book. But also, we get the word out. Now, when we come back from this commercial break, you're going to meet somebody who is 7'3". Like, that's tall. I'm 5'8". 7'3". His name is Buck the American Giant. He's a wrestler. And when we come back, you're going to meet Buck. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Silvermine at Home, a Connecticut-based non-medical home care agency servicing Connecticut and parts of New York. Silvermine caters to their clients' needs while offering peace of mind to their families so their loved one can age in place and live their best life possible. Call today to see how they can make a difference in you or your loved one's life. Our family caring for yours. Visit silvermineathome.com or call 203-228-5007.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville. We have Buck here today. Buck, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Cindy. Pleasure to be here.
So, Buck, you are known, Buck Besner, the American Giant, right?
Correct.
So, how tall are you?
7'3".
7'3". I don't think I've ever met anyone that tall.
Well, they're always around there. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, not always.
That's true.
So 7'3". Wow. Where are you originally from, Buck?
I'm originally from Syracuse, New York.
Wow. Okay. So you're really not far from, I don't know. Actually, I'm not very familiar with New York. I'm kind of I'm new to Long Island here. But you're not living in Syracuse right now.
Not right now, no.
Where are you now?
I'm living in Jackson, Kentucky at the present time.
Wow. All right. We'll get into that, like what got you there in a little bit. But your family is still in Syracuse?
Yes, my dad's up there, and I have a younger brother who's still up there, and all my aunts and cousins are up there all the way up to the Adirondacks.
Wow. Well, Adirondacks are pretty. So you have brothers and sisters. How many brothers, how many sisters?
2 older sisters, 1 younger brother.
So it's 4 of you. Okay.
Mhm.
And are you the tallest?
I'm the tallest.
Now, how tall were your parents?
My mom was 5'4" before she passed away, and my dad is currently 5'10".
Wow. So 5'4", 5'10", and they came out with 7'3".
Oh yeah.
Now, what about your brother? How tall is your brother?
I would say about 5'7", 5'8".
Wow. And then your sisters?
About excuse me, about 5. One was 5'10", the other one's 5'11", I think, somewhere in there.
Wow. So listen, it's not typical that somebody, 5'4" mom, 5'10" dad has a 7'3" son. So
Mhm.
where did you come from?
A lot of people ask me that. I just tell them Andre the Giant is my father. No, just kidding. I can't tell you that. It came on my dad's side of the family, and I did have 3 cousins. One of them was 6'7" before she passed away of a brain tumor almost 12 years ago, somewhere in there. Another one's 6'3", and I have another one 6'1". So
Okay.
basically it's on my dad's side of the family.
Okay. But your dad really didn't get the hype, but he gave it to you.
You can say that.
So you told me, first of all, how hard is it to find clothing and shoes? And what size shoe do you wear?
I wear a 23.
Wow. They're that's like boat. It's a boat.
What do you mean a boat, Cindy? Come on. If you want to rent my shoe to go sailing, all you have to do is tell me. That's kidding. No, I mean, in reality, yes, it is hard to find shoes. I found a pair of size 23 on a website one time, not too long ago. It's called twobigfeet.com. They go up to a size 23.
What's it called? 2 Big Feet?
Twobigfeet.com.
I love it. What a great name.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what do you pay for a pair of shoes?
For sneakers, anywhere from $75 to $200.
That's not bad. I mean,
No, not for a sneaker.
yeah, a size 23 is like more than 2 times the size of a normal person, normal man's
Right.
foot.
Exactly.
So that's not bad.
Regular shoes go up to 500. No joke.
Yeah. No, I believe it. I believe it. It's got to be tough to find size 23. Like I know people with up to size like 15 feet, but 23?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Now, what about clothing? I mean, being 7'3",
The only issue I have found so far is finding a pair of pants because I have a 40 waist and a 38 inseam, and believe me, that's hard to find.
yeah, yeah,
T-shirts and regular dress shirts and anything else like that. I find them either a big guy shop here or a Walmart. It depends where it is, but pants is the main thing that I have to be on the lookout for. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. No, I can imagine. That's wild. That's wild.
Oh,
So you need your own seamstress, is what you need.
you got that right.
Yeah. Maybe somebody watching will volunteer their services and make you a new wardrobe.
Well, I can deeply appreciate that. Believe me.
How nice would that be?
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up? I mean, how tall were you when you were were you tall in elementary, middle school, high school? You're taller than all the other kids in school?
Yes, I was. I'll give you an example. When I was in the 4th grade, I was already about 5'7", 5'8". When I went to the middle school level, probably about up to 6'4", and that's no joke either.
Wow.
And then when I reached the high school level, when I graduated, I was about 6'10" at that point. And one time I got a physical done right before I graduated, and the doctor told me, he said, "You're not done growing yet."
Wow.
Wow, okay. And back then, I wore a size 17 sneaker at the time. And as I grew older and older, it was harder for me to find shoes. And, but thankfully, there are companies out there who still makes them. It cost me a lot, but they still make them. But I'm just very thankful I can find them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. No, thank God. Now, I remember I'm tall for a woman. I mean, I guess an average size woman. I'm 5'8". And so, I mean, that's pretty tall for a woman these days. It's on the not tall, but taller side. But I remember I was always one of the tallest girls growing up. And I remember I used to, my mother used to she would make me put my shoulders back, stand up tall, stand up straight, because I would wear little heels. And I'm Jewish, and I would go to all the barn bat mitzvahs, and, we all wore heels. And I remember all the boys were short. And, I was self-conscious because I was taller than all the boys
Right.
and one of the tallest girls. So what was it like? I remember my mother's like, stand up tall, be proud. My mother's 5'2". So she wished she had my height. But what was it like? Because I remember, and I will also say, I remember there was a young girl, and we were it was, I think, elementary school, and she must have been close to 6 foot tall at the time. And poor thing was ridiculed so much, and I was so quiet and shy at the time. Now, nobody would ridicule anybody in front of me because I would say something, I would do something. But back then, I was quiet, I was shy, but I remember feeling so bad for her. So what was it like, I mean, for you growing up? Were you ridiculed because you were so tall?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Before I even got into sports, I used to be playing in the bands and be in the chorus back in school. And I was a real thin kid back then. I used to get picked on all the time, and kids were willing to fight me along the way. And there's a couple of times that I came close to it, and it's because of my size. It's because how tall I was. But back then, I was really, really much thinner back then. And the more I thought about it, I was getting a little bit frustrated about it, and I knew I had to do something to change my life as I was growing up. And one day, the weightlifting coach came up to me and said, "How would you get into athletics, go in the gym and start training to fill you out?" At first, I was like, "You gotta be kidding me! No kidding!" I'm like, "No, I don't want nothing to do with it." I thought about it. I'm like, "Give it a shot." The more I trained in the gym, the more I started feeling much better. The more I started filling out, the more I started beating up on people in real life. Just kidding, by the way. Uh,
Listen, maybe some of them deserved it.
well, that's true. Um, the more I filled out, the more self-esteem I became, and the more positive I became thinking about myself. And I'm glad I did go to the gym, because that helped me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, it boosted your self-confidence and, well, now you were you were athletically inclined. I mean, you were back then interested in, you were telling me, basketball, right?
Correct.
So what happened with basketball?
Well, I played in the 7th grade, I played in the 8th grade, and played in the 9th grade. And when I was a sophomore in high school, I tried out for the JV squad. I was excited to play in high school. I mean, I really wanted to play.
Right.
And I made the first 2 cuts, and the third cut, I was cut from the squad. And I was so devastated one night, and I found that out. I went back to the locker room all by myself, really, really, really irate and upset. And I took one of those really big garbage cans back in the day. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yes.
I picked it up and I shot it against the locker, and people thought I was hurting somebody. And that's not a joke. They thought I had somebody beating up on somebody. I'm like, no. So a good friend of mine, close friend of mine, who I grew up with, he is a former professional baseball player. His name is Len Bruscher. He's like a brother to me. He found out that I got cut. He came up to me. He goes, Buck, a lot of people don't agree that you should have got cut. And I was, he was like, hey, you did your best. That's all you can do.
Right.
So the next day, I went back to school. Coaches came up to me. They found out. They were really, really upset. The coach apparently chose his son over me. I was devastated when I heard that. I don't know whether it's true or not, but along the way, the wrestling coach came up to me, and he goes, I got an idea for you, Buck. I said, what's that? How would you like to wrestle for me? I'm like, what are you, freaking nuts? And he goes, I know you want to get involved with professional wrestling. And I was like, how did you know that? He goes,
That was
believe me.
a dream of yours.
It was a dream at the time, yes.
Then how did he find out?
I have no idea how he found out. I guess rumors are spreading around the whole school. You know how rumors goes. He
Yeah.
asked me about it. I said, yes, that's true. He goes, how did you find out? He goes, let's put it this way. We're going to show these people in school that you're going to go to the ring one day. But right now, you got to start with the basics. I wanted to teach you the basics. That way, you have more experience in that. And because I know one person who I went to college with in Ithaca. He worked for the World Wrestling Federation back then. And I turned around and I said, yeah, right. I mean, I was ridiculing him a little bit. I said, yeah, right. Who is it? You really want to know? His name? Gorilla Monsoon. He was a broadcaster, and he told me that when he went to practice one day, Gorilla was about 6'8", 300 pounds. He sat on the guy's arm, accidentally broke it in half in practice.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh my word. He goes, you go down to the War Memorial. You tell him I said hello.
Wow.
So 2 days later, I ran into Gorilla. I gave him that message. He says, well, he goes, tell Ron I said hello. And as soon as I got back into the door the next day, Cindy, he snapped his fingers, looked at me, he goes, I told you. I'm like, how the heck did you know I saw him? He goes, I get word back on you.
Right, right. He was looking out for you.
Yes, he was.
Let
I
me-
accepted his offer and started training hard. And through my senior year, kicked butt, worked hard, sweat in the gym. And I'm very glad I did. And along the way, that's where I started to meet guys like Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo and all those guys back in, when we were growing up. And when I graduated, I got word from Mike Rotundo that one of the guys in Buffalo, one that had school, his name was the destroyer Dick Beyer. So I called Dick. I inquired about it. He said he heard about me, and he told me he just retired from the business, but he wants to refer me to Tampa, Florida, to the Great Malenko's camp. And I'm like, have you ever heard of the Great Malenko? I said, no, I never heard of this guy,
Yeah.
He goes, I'm gonna refer you to him. You'll be getting a phone call from him in the next couple of days. Sure enough, Malenko calls me. He goes, according to what I heard, you have great talent, and we want to train you.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, and he wanted to send me to Japan with the Nasty Boys, Hogan and Mr. Perfect and all them guys, but I couldn't get my passport in time. And
Right.
ever since then, it kicked right off after that.
That's incredible. So,
Yeah.
have you seen these kids that teased you, ridiculed you? Have you seen them since? Have they ever apologized to you?
Some have, some haven't.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't heard half of them from a long time. And I used to be a bouncer back in during the college days. And one of them called me one day. He goes, you know what? Because I never thought I was going to see this, but one night I turned on WCW and I see Buck working with the NWO on national TV.
How awesome is that?
I would have never thought he would have made it.
See?
And, yeah. He said, "You stuck with it, man." He goes, "I got to commend you for that." So yeah, I got a big commendment from that. And I said, "Well, guys, I told you I'd stick with it." He goes, "I never thought that I should have never doubted you." Let's put it that way.
Now, you went to college?
I'm sorry.
Did you go to college after high school?
Yes, I did. I got my degree in hotel management.
Nice. Where did you
And,
go to school?
okay. And one of the promoters came up to me. He goes, "Always have a backup plan because a lot of times professional wrestling may not even work out." And he was right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great that you did that. Did you go into hotel management?
Yes.
How long were you in that?
About 3 years, maybe, before I started wrestling.
Okay. So then the wrestling really took off.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Awesome.
yes.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a commercial break. So nobody go anywhere. Buck, you stay put. Don't go sideways on me. And we'll be right back after this commercial break with more with Buck.
Do you or a loved one need the care of a nursing home? A vibrant community to call home with our healthcare professionals available 24/7? Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, located in New Milford, Connecticut, has been offering award-winning care for over 40 years. Whether you are rehabilitating from a cardiac procedure or hip replacement, or seeking a place for your loved one to live where he or she can receive top-notch health care, our team is at the ready. We also accept veteran benefits and offer a special secure memory care unit for residents with Alzheimer's or cognitive-related conditions. Call us at 860-355-0971. Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, a place to heal and thrive.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville, and we have Buck the American Giant here with us today. So, Buck, welcome back.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome, ma'am. Oh my God, that makes me, I know that's polite. I feel so old.
Oh, you're young in heart. That's all that matters.
Exactly. Hey, listen, we're the same age, Buck, so.
Right. That's why I can say that, too.
Yeah. So let me ask you, how did Buck the American Giant come to play? Like, how did you get your nickname?
My mother gave me the nickname Buck. And when I was a kid, because I used to play around one day, and he goes, "You're nothing but a big buck." So I said, "Okay, we're going to call you Buck." I said, "Okay, Mom," or whatever the case was. You know how moms were when we were growing up.
Yep.
So when I came to Florida, my first name used to be the 7-foot Sasquatch. And
wow.
I started off with that. And I hit my tag team partner at the time. He's passed away since then. They called him the Grave Digger. We were known as the Dark Zone.
I love it.
Oh yeah, and we used to hammer guys in wrestling all the time. And I had to take a break from it for a while because I was going through some issues at that point. So Gray Durgan calls me one day. He goes, do you want to wrestle in the NWA Tag Team titles against the Super Mags? He goes, one manager who wants to manage us. I said, who is he? He goes, he left the WWF. I said, who is it? Captain Lou Albano. And I'm like, Albano wants to manage us? He goes, yeah. I said, Tim, I said, Digger, I can't do it. I can't do it right now because I have to take some time off to take care of some issues. He was like, he goes, damn. I said, okay. So he let Lou know. But several years later, I was going through some things at that point. And one time, one of the promoters in Florida, his name was Hurricane Bob. He was one of the Doink the Clowns in the WWF back then. He called me up and called me over one day. He goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, I got a good name for you. He goes, you want to represent the United States, right? I said, yeah. I said, what did you have in mind? How would you like to be called the 7'3" American Giant? I'm like, 7'3" American Giant? That has a name, ring to it. I said, I'll give you 3 reasons why, Bob. He says, what's that? 1, I'm 7'3". 2, I'm an American. And 3, I'm a giant in heart. Not giant in height, but giant in heart. The only true giant, Cindy, in professional wrestling of all time was the great Andre the Giant, the 8th wonder of the world.
Yes.
And I am, people ask me all the time. So I'm not comparing myself with height or anything like that. It's what's in your heart. It's how you want to wrestle. Be a professional athlete to represent the kids and the sport itself. Because nowadays, Cindy, there's a lot of talent out there that are good, but there's talent out there that I don't agree how they do things. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I'm definitely old school. Let's put it that way.
Right.
So that's where the name the American Giant came from, and I accepted it, and it kicked right off after that.
I love it. I mean, it's so perfect. It really is. So, are you one of the tallest wrestlers then out there?
Yes, I am.
That's wild. I love it. And then, how tall was Andre the Giant?
7'5".
Oh wow! Oh, so you're right there.
Oh, right there, yeah. They had another one, Eli Gante. He was 7'8". Another one was 7'6". That's what's his name? The Great Khali.
Okay.
And,
wow.
oh yeah, there's a lot of big guys out there. They come up from overseas, like Japan or Australia, wherever they came from.
Right.
But there are a lot of big guys out there. They just have to search for them, basically.
No, that's wild. That's wild. So let me ask you, you left Syracuse, you landed in Florida, right? How long were you in Florida? What brought you to Florida?
Be trained by the great Malenko. And I started off with him, and I had a great time. I was hanging around with Hulk Hogan. I was hanging around with the Nasty Boys, the 1, 2, 3 Kid, Razor Ramon, the late Razor Ramon. Who was the whole host of others that were on TV that I grew up watching. And now some of them I'm friends with and acquaintances with. But I became very well known in Florida after a couple of years. And that's not a joke either.
I believe it.
But other than that, yeah. I've been in Florida for almost 29 years. I had one morning I woke up and I had my sciatic nerve go on me, so they had to go in and replace that, repair that rather.
Yeah.
And shortly after that, my house caught on fire.
Oh God.
And, yeah. I was going through a personal situation at that point, and they found a dead rat chewing on the red wire in the ground level wires where they crawl in. I guess they're attracted to heat, was what the fire department said. And as soon as you snapped on that, it went up.
Wow.
Yeah.
You said it was a dead rat?
Yeah, there was a dead rat chewing on the red wire. Yeah, in the ground, in the wires in the ground.
Wow. Oh my, and that caused your house fire.
Yeah.
So did you lose everything in that fire?
Pretty much, yeah. I took some of it out because I was relocating to Tennessee to help out with a branch at my job at the time. And I got a call when I got into Georgia that my house was caught on fire. I'm like, what? Everything was fine when I left.
Yeah.
It was a faulty wire in the ground, and the fire department told me I was heading for wire problems. It was a 30-year-old trailer those things do happen apparently.
Sure, sure. Oh my God. I mean, you've been through quite a bit, and we're going to talk about what you've been going through now, like in the next segment. But how old are you now, Buck?
52.
Okay, so 52 years young.
Mhm.
I did say we're the same age before, so I guess now everyone knows my age too.
I'm 53 next Monday, my friend.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Older than me.
Yes,
Just by a little. Just by a little. So right now, though, what brought you? You're in Kentucky. So from Florida to Kentucky, what brought you to Kentucky?
I had a friend of mine who was staying with me, helping me out with my back surgery. And when my house burnt at the time, I was offered to rent a room off of my former friend. Now, I do not speak to her whatsoever. There's a lot of issues going on there anyway. She offered me to rent a room from her for a while, which I did. And things did not work out after a while. It turned into a drama situation. I bailed out of it real quick. And
Sure.
one thing about me, Cindy, is I do not deal with drama. You start drama, I'm out. That's
Yeah, I
simple.
don't blame you.
But
Life is too short for drama.
exactly, you got that right.
Yep.
So I relocated to Jackson at that point, and my landlord at the time had an apartment upstairs, and I loved it there. I wish I never moved up north, but things do happen.
Yeah.
So I found another trailer close to it, and I started to live there. And while I was on my way to Alabama, my manager and I were on our way to Alabama a couple weeks ago, and we take turns driving. And my partner somehow blacked out at the wheel, and my truck flipped over 4 different times with us in it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and she was all right after a while, but all shaken up, and I just suffered bruised ribs, and it was rough after that. Oh, you know, it was a tough time there. I had to stay there for a little while until I got back home. That's when I started the GoFundMe page because I was running short on funds. You know how that is.
Yep. Sure. Sure.
So we stayed there for a little bit, and one thing for sure: do not take Greyhound bus. I will never do that again. Every bus stop that we went to on the way back, everybody knew who I was, no matter where I went.
Well, you're Buck the American Giant. How can people not know?
That's true, and I was very very appreciative, and you know, took pictures, this and that, and when I got back, my neighbor picked us up from the bus station. He goes, "Giant, you're not gonna believe this." I said, "What's that?" The whole trailer park is underwater. I'm like, "Are you serious? Are you kidding me?" He wasn't. 3.5 foot was underwater, and it got over the trailers, and mine got destroyed with 7 foot water inside the trailer. Took everything out.
So you first lost your home to fire. Now you just lost your home to a flood.
Correct.
Wow. Wow. So what are you currently, we were going to talk about it in the next segment, but we're going to talk about it now. What are you doing now? I mean, you have nothing left at the moment.
I got my clothes. I purchased another vehicle, got that done, and right now I'm staying in the shelter. I'm looking at a couple of apartments to rent here in Kentucky, and you know, I can't go there till tomorrow because they're not in today. But I'm looking at that. As soon as I can resell, and as I continue picking off. But in the meantime, I will continue to go to the matches that I'm booked for. And actually, I'm scheduled to be up in New York in the future. I'm waiting word confirmation on that one.
Well, when you get here, I got to meet you because I want a picture standing next to you.
You got it. You got it. I did promise you that too.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I can't wait because listen, 5'8" and 7'3". I want to see this.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I gotta
But,
meet Buck the American Giant in person.
as far as matches wise, I'm still booked on several shows, and my partner, she called me from Oklahoma. She's a wrestling manager, ballet, what do they call it? And she called me about a month ago. She says, Giant, I want to be trained to go inside in the ring and wrestle. I said, are you sure about this? Because if you commit to it, it's going to be a lot of time involved. She said, yeah. I said, if you can relocate to Kentucky, I'll take you to the Boogie Jimmy Valiant's camp in Virginia. He's about 4.5 hours away from me. And she said, okay. So she got up here, and I informed Jimmy Valiant about that. He's a WWE Hall of Famer.
Oh, wow.
And he welcomed her very nicely, and ever since then, she started to train with him. And
hey, you know what? Maybe I want to try that.
Hey, if you want to wrestle, you let me know. I'll be glad to get you down here, and I'll be glad you can ride with us.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. I can't move to Kentucky, but
I understand that.
I'll get some training in. How cool would that be? Listen, I'm all about accomplishments. I'm all about, trying new things. And hey, who would have thought? Maybe I'll be one of those whistle blowers in the ring.
You don't have to wrestle. He teaches you how to wrestle. He teaches you how to be a referee, manager, ring announcer, you name it. Whatever you want to do, he'll train you the right way, the old school way.
Oh, that sounds like fun. You never know. One day.
That's true.
One day, right? So right now, you're living in a shelter while find a new home. You said FEMA is, obviously a lot of people were affected by this flood over there in Kentucky, right?
Yes.
7 feet of water. That's wow. You're 7'3". Can you imagine 7 feet of water? That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
So, so when do you think? FEMA's helping you find a home and get yourself situated, established again, reestablished.
Right.
So it was a disaster. Obviously FEMA was called.
Well, it was a disaster, all right. Everywhere was flooded, and apparently President Biden was supposed to be here yesterday, but don't get me started on Biden. I got a good nickname for him, but I won't say that on national TV.
Right. I love it.
Let's just put it this way: if the president really wanted to go head to head and get involved real quick, he should have got involved a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say about that. But
No,
in the meantime, I try to help out with the people here. Try to help their needs along with mine. And I said, guys, look, just because I'm a professional wrestler, I leave that in the ring, so to speak, sometimes, because outside of the ring is real life. And this is a real life situation.
So, you also were robbed, weren't you? Terrible. So here you just lost everything to the flood.
Yes, I was robbed. You might say that. Yes, I was robbed over the weekend, and my ID and my former credit card that I called in right away was found. And apparently I got word back that he was going to try and make a hit on my vehicle. I said, well, guess what? If he does, SmackDown will be in order. And I'm not kidding. And I found out a friend of mine who was also here, he stole his vehicle just a couple of days ago.
Oh my God.
No joke. And my understanding is there is a warrant for his arrest, so I hope the law enforcement nails him and get him off the streets real quick.
I hope so too. I'm really sorry for all you're going through, because I can't even imagine how stressful, it is to not have a home. You right now you don't have a home. You're kind of living out of your car and whatever. And, but hang tight. We're going to take a commercial break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more with Buck.
TLC Senior Living Services. TLC's compassionate senior living specialists will assist you and your loved ones as you navigate these next steps in senior living. With years of experience in this industry, they know what to look for and they know the questions to ask. TLC Senior Living Services will help find the most suitable living situation, will help find additional financial resources, and assist with the entire process. Cindy Seville, owner and founder, treats her clients with TLC. Yes, tender love and care. After working for various assisted living communities, Cindy decided to offer her wealth of knowledge to all seniors and their families. Cindy takes her time with you. She listens to you. She helps take the confusion out of your search and treats each and every client like family. Make TLC Senior Living Services your first call. Find out more at tlcseniorlivingservices.com.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville. We have Buck the American Giant standing tall at 7'3", and welcome, Buck.
Welcome back to myself. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Tell us a little bit about, you met Hulk Hogan, and tell us a little bit about one of your favorite matches, wrestling matches.
One of my favorite matches.
One that stands out in your mind, yes.
Well, one of my favorite matches, even though I lost to this tag team, was with the NWO and WCW. The Outsiders, the late Scott Hall, also known as Razor Ramon, and Kevin Nash, also known as Diesel. I wrestled with them against my partner, the late Pistol Pez Whatley. Has asked me to be his partner because his partner Carol called out of something. So we did a quick 9-10 minute match, and had a great time. It was on national television, WCW. You can find that on YouTube. And I posted it last night.
I saw it actually, that one, yeah.
And it was a great time. I got the experience, but yeah, I enjoyed doing that match. It's because I wanted to get the experience working with the upper level, because you never know if I'm going to be working one day with guys like The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin. You never know in this business.
Oh, so you don't know who you're up against.
Right. That's why I get there. And Scott Hall comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, yo, Bucky." I go, "Sure, what?" He goes, "How would you like to come on WCW?" He said, "If I get it approved, would you be willing to wrestle?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Why not? I don't have anything else to do." So the late Mr. Wonderful Paul Lorndorf, he became the road agent for WCW, called me in, and along with Eric Bischoff, and asked me if I was willing to work. I said, "Yeah." He asked me if I was in great shape. Yep. I had to let's go done real quick. He goes, "He passed." He goes, "Go get your gear. You're going on Nitro about an hour and a half." Okay.
Wow.
Got changed out. Did the match. Done.
Wow. That's awesome.
Good experience.
Yeah. Let me ask you, this might be a silly question because I don't know anything about the wrestling world. I have a friend that I've learned a little through a friend of mine who wrestles, who's not as tall as you, but he's also very tall. So Andre the Giant, did you ever meet him, or was that before your time?
I met him when I was a junior in high school.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's the only time I met him. And actually, when I was back in the 8th grade, he gave me a big wing. He grabbed the paper out of my hand, signed an autograph for me, shook my hand. He told me one day, and I'll never forget this, Cindy. He told me, he goes, "Best of luck to you in the future." Oh yeah, that's the only thing he said to me. And one thing about Andre that Hulk Hogan and everyone else told me, if Andre didn't like you, he wouldn't be talking to you.
Really?
Oh yeah, he was one of those type of people. It's not that it's not that he's trying to be a pain in the butt or anything, but he has his ways.
Yeah.
And you have to respect Andre for that. Especially with a lot of the other guys. Everybody's different in this game.
So Andre, is he still around, or he's not around anymore?
No, he died back in '93 of a heart attack in France, the day after his dad's funeral.
Oh, sad. Okay.
Yeah.
As you see, I don't know much about the wrestling world, but I'm learning. I'm learning. So is everyone else watching, which is great. Now, Hulk Hogan. I mean, everyone knows Hulk Hogan. So, what experience have you had with Hulk Hogan?
Well, when I did the NWO gimmick, Hulk Hogan called me a lean pole. I'm like, where is Hogan? I'll tell you a little quick story on this. I go, where is Hogan? He went back to his dressing and goes, Giant? I was like, okay, all right. All the guys in the locker room sitting there ridiculing me. I mean, it's all fun, by the way.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys goes, well, he goes, that big buck, I tell you, he did great, you know. One of them would like to say, well, he goes, I'd like to chop him down to size of this and that. And one of them is called the Barbarian. And he's a great guy. I went up to him. I went up to Lex Luger and all those guys. I said, hey, I got a issue for Barbarian. He goes, what is it? You'll see. I spat on my hand. I go, hey, Barbie. Everybody calls him Barbie. He turns around. I give him a big chop across the chest in the locker room. Everybody's like, whoa, the American Giant slapped the Barbarian. Holy crap, we're going to have a match. So everybody's like, get him, Giant, get him. So Hulk Hogan runs in. He goes, what in the hell happened here? I was the Giant just nailed the Barbarian. He goes, oh, hell, get him. Just get him.
I love it.
We had a lot of great times. And there's another time. I went out to dinner with The Undertaker, the Iron Sheik, and the Nasty Boys.
I love the names.
Oh, man. The Undertaker comes up to me. I was sitting there eating dinner, and I took a sip of my drink. Somebody put shots in my beer while eating spaghetti dinner. I'm like, okay, who touched my drink? I found out who it was. It was Nasty Boy Knobs. Undertaker comes up. He goes, hey, Buck, go up to the Iron Sheik and tell him you're going to stretch him from here back to Iron Man, see what he says. I said, I'm not going to disrespect the Iron Sheik. He goes, no, he'll love the rib. I said, okay. I go, hey, Sheiky. He goes, yes, sir. He goes, I got something to tell you, brother. He goes, what's that? I'm going to stretch you from here back to Iron Man, you Iranian freak.
Oh, no.
He's eating chicken noodle soup, drops his fork, stares at me, he puts me in the headlock. I'll never forget it. He goes, who told you to tell me that? And they're all giving me the wild eye. How dare you say that to the Iron Sheik? I said, the Undertaker told me to say to him. He goes, well, I didn't tell you to tell him that. Were you stupid or something? He goes, don't listen to these jabronis. He goes, I'll make them humble in SummerSlam or whatever it was. He goes, just sit there and behave yourself. Quit listening to these dumb jabronis. That was a great night. I mean, we all had fun in general. And I apologize to Sheik. And Sheik goes, hey, don't worry about it. I know it's a rib, but again, don't listen to these guys. They'll get you in trouble in hot water real quick. You're right.
I can only imagine how much fun, because really wrestling is very entertaining. I mean,
yes,
I recently saw a bunch of wrestling matches, and I love wrestling. Like I'm a huge fan now. I love it. I don't know anything about it, but I love it. And it's I mean, people can get hurt. It's I don't think look, you guys make it look fun, and I mean, I know it's not easy. Have you gotten hurt? During any of the matches?
One time I had a 20-man over the top rope battle royal in Florida. I had a laceration right up here, and my partner ran me into the mat, and I accidentally hit the steel beam. It was an honest accident, though.
Yeah.
I turned back and went back to the locker room. Promoter comes up to me and goes, hey, Sasquatch, you better go see the doctor. I said, why? He goes, you're busted wide open. I said, really? What? I turned around. Yeah, I had a laceration right here, and I didn't even feel it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an honest accident, and so they sterile stripped it, and it healed nicely. I went back a couple of days later. They said, you're fine.
So I mean, because I've seen all kinds of body slamming. I mean, I know that you probably have some cushioning, and some give on the floor, right? But
Right.
I think. But I mean, God, that's got to hurt. I see the way the bodies, I mean, you're throwing each other around and jumping on eeach other. And, it's got to be fun though. But I'm sure, how is your body holding up at 52? You've been doing this for so long.
I have a little arthritis in my knees, just like every other wrestler would have. Other than that, I feel fine physically. I get physical every year, and I make sure that I'm okay. If I wasn't feeling fine or anything like that, it would not clear me to wrestle.
Right, exactly. So you have to be cleared. Yep.
And thankfully, I'm cleared from that. And other than that. And by the way, Cindy, before I forget, there's only one rule in professional wrestling you do not do.
What's that? Did I break it?
Take the wrestlers' food away from them.
Never
mess with food. I'm sitting here one time in Tampa. We have a big meeting with all the gathering, with all the legends of the business. I'm sitting there right there staring at Greg the Hammer Valentine's hamburger one time. He didn't know I was staring at it. I thought it was mine.
Right.
So I grabbed it. He turned around. He goes, "Giant." I'm like, "Oh, that's not mine." Pushed it back. I said, "Sorry, Greg." He goes, "Don't make me come over there and put the figure 4 leg lock on your big legs." I said, "Oh, well." Valentine is one of the nicest guys in the business.
Awesome.
I have a lot of respect for Greg. He's a great guy.
That's awesome. But don't mess with food.
Do not eat their food. That's a big mistake.
Oh, that's so funny. Let me ask you, I mean, with the things that you've been through in life, the difficult times that you've encountered in life, how do you find your inner strength to keep going?
I find my inner strength. Okay. I'm glad you asked me that question. I want to try to answer as best I can.
Okay.
I can't do it on my own. Let's put it that way. I pray about it. I ask God for his direction and wisdom in different situations. And if something in your gut tells you not to do it, don't do it. And as it turns out, I may get frustrated. I say, "Well, what do you want me to do?" 10 seconds later, the answer comes to you like that.
Right.
And so basically, I just have to ask God to strengthen me, give me wisdom, clear my mind, whatever you got to do, and show me the way how to do things.
Right.
And I tell everybody else, if you don't stay humbled in life, it's not going to work for you.
That's excellent advice.
It is good advice. I've learned that when I was a kid. Stay humble, be thankful, and no matter whether you're a pro wrestler or a boxer, musician, or even a TV interviewer like yourself, if you don't stay humbled, and I'll put it this way: if you get the big head, it's going to kick you right in the butt. You don't want it.
Yep, you're right.
That's simple.
Yeah, I think that's the best advice you can give anybody. To stay humble. But so God has helped you. Through all this. I mean, because again, here you are, dealing with issues out of your control at the moment, which is very stressful, you know.
Sure.
Now, you also work with kids. You've worked with kids. And what kind of advice could you give kids out there?
Be thankful. Be thankful for the things you have in life. And I can honestly say this: if you want to become a professional wrestler, the reason why I'm saying professional wrestler, because I have experience in this. If you want to become a professional wrestler, go to a school that is properly trained. Do not go anywhere that's going to do backyard wrestling.
Right.
Because number one, you're going to cause injuries. You're going to cause death, and I've seen that happen. And if you think you know it all before you even go inside the business like that, guess what? You're a damn fool.
Yep.
Don't do that. Because I know one thing. There's a lot of backyarders who want to work me in the matches. And I always ask, what experience do they have? Who trained them? If they say backyard, I'll say no. Nope, I won't do it.
Right.
That's
right. Now, you know what I love? That you had a dream. You had a dream that you wanted to do professional wrestling.
Mhm.
And you fulfilled your dream. You're doing professional wrestling. That's incredible.
That's true.
That's amazing.
I've stuck with it for so many years, and my very first match that my father and I watched was back in '78. Back then you had the Valiant brothers, Jimmy and Johnny. You had Superfly Snuka, Ray the Cripple Stevens. Andre was back then, Bob Backlund. I've learned from a lot of those guys. And,
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it as long as your heart's in the right place with it.
Exactly. Are you going to continue wrestling?
Yes.
For how long do you think?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. As long as I can go.
Well, listen, just know you have a huge fan here in Connecticut and Long Island. I'm kind of between both Connecticut and Long Island. You've got a huge fan here, and tons and thousands of people are going to watch this and, now learn. If they didn't already know about you, they're going to now know about you.
Right.
Listen,
if anybody, I will say this, Cindy. If anybody would like to have the American Giant come up to Connecticut or New York area, or as a special visitation type thing, whatever, you can always message me on the Buck Bresner messenger. You can private message me. We'll talk about that, and I'll be more than happy to work it out with you. I have no problem with it.
and you'll go anywhere. I wanted you to let everyone know how to reach you. So you're on Facebook, right?
Yes, I'm on Facebook.
Any other social media platforms?
That's the only thing I have at this point.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, please, anybody who's interested in Buck, the American Giant, reach out. He'll go anywhere. You travel all over for this.
That's true.
Awesome. Well, next time you're here, we're meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Well, listen, Buck, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're going through a lot right now. And, I love your energy. I love your positivity. Keep going. Keep it. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate
You're a
that.
special person.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. So thank you for joining us today. And we will be right back after this commercial break for my final thoughts. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville. I hope you enjoyed our show today. Buck is fabulous. Thank you, Buck, again. Buck showed us that, we are all beautiful, we are all unique, we are all special in our own ways, and we all have something great to offer, and we all have dreams, and we can turn those dreams into reality. So never give up on yourself. Believe in yourself, and we'll see you next week. Thanks so much for joining us. Remember, comment, like, and share if you want to win the giveaway, but we also want to get the word out. Send us your mitzvahs. Remember, mitzvah time, hashtag mitzvah time. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much again for joining us.
Live your life like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open your shut so the world can see.